Okay, let's go this way. Hey guys, it's Catherine. I just wanted to come really quick to give you guys a video. I'm still in the process of saving money to get my own laptop. So on days that I can't borrow a laptop to actually do my intro and all that, I just use my phone. And so it's pretty simple. But today I am 6 months, I think I'm 7 months out. August, September, October, November, December, January, February. Yes, I'm 7 months out, 7 months post-op VSG surgery. August 2016, I had surgery. At that time, I was 275. I currently am 207 pounds, I think. So a little under 70 pounds I've lost. And my highest weight was 293 pounds. I am about 5'10", 5'10 and a half, I say, because who's gonna get measured without shoes on? And pretty tall lady, almost 6 feet. So I'm pretty distributed as far as height goes. Everything's going fine. I'm still trying to figure out what I like, because I've noticed there's some things I can eat that I just like, doesn't sit well on my stomach some days, and then other days it does. Hash browns are my kryptonite. They just stop up in my throat no matter how fine I chew them. No matter how soft I get them fried, hash browns can kill me. So I can't do hash browns. Tolerating like juices better, juices that are not sugar free, and if they have a little bit of sugar, if I cut it with a little bit of water and just drink very minimal, I'm okay. Went to the doctor last week because I thought I had a UTI, and turns out I was just severely dehydrated. And that is something we learn in the options program, that post-surgery you can get dehydrated really quick. So with that being said, drink water. So I'm back to drinking water. I had drunk a few like hard ciders and actual cocktails, but I kind of left those alone so that I can kind of clean out my kidneys and stuff. So that's pretty much the update on me. I'm hanging in there. I'm trying out new foods. Once March comes and I'll have a better schedule for my children and stuff, I will be in the gym 4 to 5 days a week. So I'm going to really try to get this thing started as far as me being in competition, being in a bodybuilding competition later on this year. So I have a lot of work to do, but I'm excited because I feel like I have a good place to start from. So today, what I wanted to do was kind of give you guys like a sample of my pre-op package that I have coming out in March. So if you're not familiar with my videos, I would strongly suggest you go back to my home screen and go back to August when I first found out I was having surgery and watch my journey. Very interesting journey, very unique journey. But I'm very, I pay very close attention to just strategies that I use for different things. I took a strength finder test, and that's one of my top 5 gifts or talents, is I'm extremely strategic. So with that being said, I kept a good knowledge and journal of my process for VSG. What I found was as I began to make videos about some of these topics, I got really good feedback from a lot of ladies and guys who either had questions, concerns, or just wanted some clarity. And so my DM on Instagram and my DM on Facebook, Instant Messenger, is full because I have people that's just like, hey, you know, can you do a video about this? Or could you talk about this? Or did you experience this? Because I'm very transparent. I love to communicate. And I'm very, like I said, strategic and pay attention to detail. So I created a pre-op package, not just for people who are getting ready for weight loss surgery, but anybody who may be getting ready to dive into an extreme, you know, health regimen or program. Like, so anybody that says, you know, I'm going to try to do a cleanse or detox, or, you know, a weight loss program, whether it's something you buy from somebody or you got Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers, whatever it is, I feel like I've come up with a really good 6-week system that can help you get your mind, your being, and even the people around you in a position to help facilitate a successful journey for you on your weight loss journey. And what I wanted to do is I picked a week, which is this is week 3. It's called Practice What You Preach. And there's an exercise that I have you do in week 3. And it's pertaining to fear. And so I wanted to just kind of do it with you guys so you can have an idea of, one, what you're going to be purchasing, but 2, like, This is like real life work. This isn't anything that I just like, okay, wake up, you know, say 3 things about yourself, turn around and go out and clap your hands and go out the door. This is real stuff. So while I was preparing for surgery, one of the things they had us do was write a letter to ourselves. And the letter had to be, you know, 1 page, at least a whole page long, explaining, you know, why you want the surgery and how you're feeling. And we wrote the letter, put it in an envelope, sealed it up, went through a 12-week course. And then after we had surgery, they mailed the letters to us. And we read them. And so later on, after surgery, I started thinking about like some of the fears that I still held on to after surgery that I could have dealt with if I was honest about myself leading up to surgery. So in week 3, there's a journal entry that's called My Fears. And basically it's your fears acknowledging weight loss. So there are 3 things that you do with that fear. First, you acknowledge it. So let's just use something. I use one, for example. My fear concerning like weight loss surgery had to do with having the surgery. What if I have the surgery and I die? Now, we won't get into details, but when I was in the hospital, the anesthesiologist asked me, like, do you have any questions? I was like, yeah. Am I going to wake up like in the movies and I'll be numb and I can't say that, but I can feel you operating on me? He laughed and he was like, no, like I never had anybody ask me that. I need to know, okay? But that was a fear of mine. So, you know, I'm like, I don't want this surgery. I don't need this surgery. What if I die? How irresponsible would I be trying to have this surgery and then I die and my kids don't have a mom? Like, I was super, super scared. So I had to acknowledge the fact that, you know what? And this is after the surgery. I had a legitimate fear of dying, and it's because you want to be a good mother to your children. That's me acknowledging. The second thing you need to do is reject the fear. What does that mean? It's not enough just to say, you know what, I have this fear and it's there and I see it, and leave it there, because then you become paralyzed by that fear, not able to advance or move. You just, you know, build a house in that space and time in your life and you live there. And it's a very sad thing when people do that. It's not enough to just acknowledge it. You have to reject it. What does that mean? Once I got done with surgery and I woke up and came to, I thought about the fact that like I'm still here. So having surgery, when it comes to myself, it's not a bad thing. It's not anything that was selfish. It was for your health. And you didn't die, and you need to remember this. If you ever have to have surgery again, you know, you got to make sure you keep score correctly. Good times versus bad times. And you have to tell yourself, you know, I've had surgery before and had a wonderful experience. Reject it. And the last thing you have to do is reconstruct the thought, because the thought usually has a genuine undertone. What do I mean? I had a fear of dying, having the surgery, so it kept me from doing the surgery. But when I had the surgery, I really wasn't afraid of dying. I was really concerned with the fact that, you know what, are my kids going to be okay? That was the fear. It wasn't so much me dying. It was me not being there to take care of them and love on them. And that's what I wanted. So I had to reconstruct the thought to say, you know what, I really don't have a fear of having surgery. I'm not even going to make it seem like that's just like who I am. I'm scared of surgery. I'm scared of hospitals. You had a fear of your kids being without you and not having a mom. Legitimate. So I acknowledged the fear, I rejected it, and then I reconstructed the thought. Same thing some of you guys need to do when it comes to you don't want to have a surgery because you don't want to have to tell people. Acknowledge that. Stop being like, I don't want everybody in my business. No, you really are scared of possibly being, you know, open with people and they reject the fact that this is a good idea and you be judged for it. Number 2, you need to reject the thought. Did I say that already? Yeah, acknowledge it, reject the thought. Reject that, because that's a version of the truth. That's not the absolute truth. And the last thing, reconstruct the thought. You know what? People around me who know that I've been trying to lose weight, who love me and want to see me happy and peaceful, and they want to see me whole, those are the people who are going to feel excited and happy for me, because they know this is something that means a lot to me. Anybody that feels like they need to speak against me and to speak against what I'm doing, you know what? Maybe I need to take another look at whether or not I need those people in my circle, because where I'm going, even post-surgery, I need support around me. Not anybody continuing to tell me that they disagree with a decision that really had nothing to do with them, and number two was already made. These are things that has to be addressed concerning weight loss. If you don't address the fears, like the real fears, I don't want to lose the weight because I don't really know who I am outside of my weight. I've always been the big sexy lady. Some people need to acknowledge, reject, and reconstruct that thought. So that's a little tidbit for you guys. I really hope you guys go to katbranchman.com March 1st. The package will be under services. It should be on the homepage, so I'll create a special link. That's just one exercise, okay, in 1 week, and you get 6 weeks. So 6 weeks worth of work for you to really work on. And this is for anybody, like I said, post-op, pre-op, but most importantly, if you're struggling with losing weight. A lot of times the weight has to do with you doing like self-care and self-evaluation so that you can get to the root of the problem, because the weight is surface level. It's a symptom of something else, if we're honest. So anyway, love you guys. Thank you for joining me. And remember, go to katbranchman.com, like, subscribe, and share. If you like what I do, you want to support me, you can buy a shirt on the Loser's Bench or on katbranchman.com, or you can donate. Like, let me just send her $20. I like what she do. You can do that too, okay? Love you guys. See you later. Peace.